Hey everybody, good morning. Let me take my glasses off. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for spending your Saturday morning with me. This is my very first Facebook Live, so bear with me if there's any technical difficulties. This is way outside my comfort zone, as you know. Give me an animal and I can make it do whatever, but give me a piece of technology, and even the easiest, most user-friendly technology, I have a way of really mucking it up. So I hope you're all seeing this, and I want to really utilize the technology as much as we can, because obviously we can't be together, which I really miss our classes. I miss our Saturday mornings together. So I guess this is kind of the next best thing that we can do. So anyway, thank you for being here. And those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Cindy Scott. I am the founder and director of Dogs Etc. Dog Training. I have been a dog trainer for over 25 years. To be honest, I quit counting after 25. It's like being married after 20. I don't even know how long we've been married. I stopped counting. So it's been a while. And I have numerous accreditations, including AKC accreditation. And I'm on the board of directors for Welcome Home Dog Rescue. It's all about the dogs, and that's what I want to do here today. I founded Dogs Etc. in the summer of 1997 when my babies were babies, and my mission statement is true today as it was then, and that is enriching dogs' lives. That's what it's about. And especially nowadays, you're home anyway. Let's train them. If anything good comes out of this, we're going to have some really, really well-trained dogs. That's what I want. And especially my puppy people out there, this is the worst time to be a puppy. That critical developmental stage up until about 4.5 months is the best time for socialization and the best time for learning, and we just can't get together and we can't socialize them. We can't do the play groups. We can't even do puppy class. So what I want to do today is go over what I call the fundamentals. I put the fun in mental, whatever. But these are the things that every dog should know. Every dog. This is the foundation for whatever type of training your goal is with your dog. If you want to do agility, if you want to do service dog work, if you want to do therapy dog work, if you want to do rally or field work, it all starts with this stuff. And especially my puppy people, you can't be out there socializing them. So take this time to really work on these foundations so that they're ahead of the game when this is over and we can do some socializing with them. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to go over how to reward your dog, because if you can't reward your dog, you can't communicate with them what you want them to do. And frankly, the better you can communicate with your dog, the better they're going to be behaving, because they understand what you want. So we're going to talk about how to reward your dog, how to teach them a secondary reinforcer, like the word good, so that you don't get stuck carrying sausages with you wherever you go. And we're also going to talk about how to teach them their name, because a lot of this is just getting their attention. If you can't get their attention, forget everything else. So we're going to teach them their name. We are also going to talk about the 3 words that we say all the time. One of the biggest complaints I get from owners about their dogs is they don't listen to me. Well, a little tough love. Unfortunately, a lot of times we just repeat ourselves and we're not worth listening to. So we're going to talk about the 3 words that we say all the time. We overuse them so much that the dogs just tune us out. So we're going to talk about that. And last but not least, I also want to introduce lure training. Lure reward training is getting them to do something because they want to, not because you're forcing them or you're prompting them or pushing them. And then you're going to get a much better, more consistent response out of your dog. And it also introduces you to the concept of counter conditioning, which is if your dog is doing the right thing, they're not doing the wrong thing. We really want to focus on those rewards and teaching them the right thing, because if they're doing the right thing, they're not doing the wrong thing. So we're going to work on sit. I'm going to show you how to do that, because it's like like a stampede in my house. It's just two dogs. It's just two dogs making all that noise. So let's get to it. But before we start, please comment what your goals are with your dog. What your goal is. If you want to go on and do agility, if you want to go on and do therapy dog work or whatever it is, or frankly, if your goal is just sitting on the couch watching Netflix and eating Cheetos with your dog, that's fine too. Tell me what your goals are, because then it helps me to organize and come up with platforms that are going to meet your needs. So let's get started. First thing that we're going to do, oh, they know that sound. That was the treat sound. Hello, I'm so popular when I take out the treats. So this is a treat, okay? Also, just a piece of kibble. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. Even this piece of kibble, this is big, so I would break this in half, especially if you have a little dog. Just a tiny little taste, that's all you need. If you have a bigger treat like this, you want to cut it into just a teensy little piece. That's all you need. Yeah, I know. Hello. That's all you need. Just about the size of your pinky fingernail. Just a little taste. And honestly, what I do is I'll take their regular kibble, their regular dry food. It's so popular. You can't see the other one. He's down here. I'll take their regular dry food and make them work for their food. If you are still feeding your dog in a bowl, you are missing huge training opportunities. Make them work for it. Take their meal portion, put it like this, and make them do stuff throughout the day for it. I've got plenty of videos on that. I've ranted about that forever, but make them work for it. So this is a reward. Come here, Iggs. Or Roo, that's fine too. So how do you teach them? It's so popular. I'm a middle child. I love all the attention. So we want to teach them a secondary reinforcer. Obviously, they don't need to learn to like this stuff, okay? They just like it. But they need to learn the word that goes with it, because you don't want to get stuck carrying around treats the rest of their life. One, it's not practical, but two, oh, look how cute they are. Let me come kiss. What was I talking about? Oh, it's not practical. Besides, your dog's not dumb. They'll learn. You know, if you don't have treats, they're not going to come to you. They're not going to listen to you. So we want to teach them a secondary reinforcer. I like the word good. Some people say yes. Whatever you want to say, we're going to pair it with the food. So I say good, I give him a treat. Good, he gets a treat. Good, he gets a treat. You can do two at the same time. Good treat, good treat, good treat. So what do they learn? Oh, I love that word. That's a great word. Thank you. It takes on the meaning of the food. Classical conditioning, pure and simple. Classical conditioning. Teach them to associate the positive of the food with that word. Good. And I like to say good first and then give them the food, because if you give them the food first, they're usually just like, oh, yummy food, and they're not even listening to you. So say it first. Give him the treat. Isn't he a handsome boy? This is Iggy, for those of you who don't know. My Iggy pup. My Iggy pup. He was a rescue. We're still technically fostering him. He, as calm as he is, he does have a wild streak in him. A little tip, do not name your dog after a punk rocker, because, yeah, he lives up to it. Don't you love the hair? It's like crazy hair. I love it. I love it. So, secondary reinforcer, the word good. Now, if you've ever seen people use clickers, clicker training, clicker is just another secondary reinforcer. Personally, I like the word good. I do use clickers in more refined training, like when I'm doing agility or trick training or something like that. But frankly, it's just one more thing I got to carry around, you know. And also, I like the verbal reward, because by changing my inflection, I can vary how good it is. Oh, I got somebody else here that came to see the treats. Where's my kitty? This is Mr. Blinks. He's the best kitty in the world. He's like, I just came for the treats, woman. So you can change your inflection. So there's a definite difference between good and good. A click is always the same. Okay, there's no more treats. There's no more treats. A click is all the same. So your inflection, changing your tone of voice, lets your dog know how good they're doing. Again, good dog is different than good dog or thank you. Okay, so they see the difference? Letting them know that they did the right thing. Now your homework, the rest of your dog's life, is to get in the habit of praising your dog. And I know you're like, duh, Cindy, of course I'm going to do that. But we don't. We don't praise. We don't. We don't praise our dogs. We don't praise our kids. We don't praise our employees. We don't praise. We take the good behavior for granted. Oh, but when they screw up, then we're all over them. Then they get plenty of our attention, right? So I want you to flip it on its ear, so to speak. Is that the right terminology? I want you to change that up and consciously catch them being good. Good dog. Talk to your dog. Let them know they're doing the right thing. Are you taking off, sweetie?
Yeah, have a great day.
My son's going to work. That's Alex. He works at Sprouts. I mean, he is on the front lines of all of this. Poor little boy. Be careful. Wear your gloves. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
So praise your dog. That's your homework. So the next thing that we're going to do, the next little classical conditioning exercise, is teaching them their name. I want them to practically give themselves whiplash when you say their name. Yes, what, me, hello. I want their name to almost be an informal come. So when you say their name, they just come to you. Bye, sweetie.
Sayonara.
So how do we do that? Classical conditioning again. You take that treat. Come on, Ace. Up. Come here. Up. Good boy, Rude. So you say his name. This is Rudy, by the way. Rude dog, because he's kind of rude. He's like those Sour Patch Kids. At first he's sour and then he's sweet. I don't know. I think he's a Gemini or something. He's a rescue too. He's got a long backstory. But how you teach them their name is you say their name. Rudy, he gets a treat. Rudy, he gets a treat. Oh, Iggy's down here too. Iggy, he gets a treat. So what does he learn? I love that word. That word is fantastic. So every time he hears it, he's going to turn around and look. And you've got his attention. And then you can say come, leave it, off, whatever command you want to give him. This, by the way, classical conditioning works with all species. Taught Mr. Blinks his name that way. We probably learned our names that way. And think about the things that you're conditioned to. I remember years ago I was in the grocery store and my kids were in college. And I knew they weren't with me. I knew that they were in college and that they were big, right? So I'm at the grocery store and I hear this little tiny voice behind me go, Mommy. And I knew it wasn't my kids. I knew that she was talking to somebody else. Oops, sorry, Ruth. That she was talking to somebody else. But I just instinctively and conditionally turned around and looked, even though I knew it wasn't for me. So we get conditioned the same way. So we want to be purposeful with the dogs, the cats, the pigs, the guinea pigs, whatever species you have in your house. All of this works. So teach them their name. I like to say that it's like charging up their name, charging it. Now, the opposite is true of what we just talked about with the word good. Because good you cannot overuse. I want you to say good all the time. I want you to get conditioned like I am to where I can't even stop myself from saying good, as you guys have seen. But with their name, if we overuse it, they get used to it. So they ignore us. And the 3 commands that we say all the time, so much so that they ignore us, number 1 is their name. We say it all the time. Watch yourself. Watch the people in your family. See how often, Fido, 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 Fido. And you keep saying it and they keep ignoring you. So pretty soon, Fido means ignore you. It means nothing. So think about your own name, right? You know, I laugh because, I've seen it so many times, parents with their kids, Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. But as soon as they bring out the middle name, or the full name, like Jonathan, Stephen, that's when they're going to look at you, right? And they know that she means business when that middle name comes out. When my mother calls me Cynthia, hair on the back of my neck stands up still. Let's not get to that point, because if there's a car coming, if your dog is in the middle of the street and that car is coming so quickly, you only have one chance to call your dog. One chance. You don't get 3 chances, 4 chances, 10 chances. One chance to get your dog out of the street. So it's really important that they listen to you that first time that you say their name, that first time that you call them. So get in the habit, if you say their name and they ignore you, don't keep saying their name. Remember, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So if you say their name and they ignore you, change your tone of voice. There's a difference between Fido and Fido. My cat just looked at me. And if they still don't look at you, clap your hands, stomp your feet. The more he came to me, the more animated that you get, the more interested they're going to be in what you're doing. Also, if nothing else, your feet are not in cement. Go poke them in the butt, get their attention. But don't keep repeating yourself. Again, the more you repeat yourself, you're just teaching them to ignore you. And this is so true of the word come. And that's the second command we say all the time. Come, 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 come here, come along, come, 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 come. The more you say it, the less it means. The more you say it and they don't do it, the more it means don't do it. So same thing, change your tone of voice. Much more inviting than come, come, come. Dog's game. So again, nothing else. Go up, poke them in the butt, get their attention. Don't take no for an answer. And how much noise can 2 dogs make? I don't know. But don't overuse that word. Again, that car is coming down the street. You get one chance to call your dog. Don't blow it. Now, the third thing that we say all the time is no. We say this to kids. This makes me crazy. I see parents with their kids all the time. No, 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 Timmy, no, 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 no. And they just tune it out. The kids are like oblivious to it. The dogs are oblivious to it. So I like to say something, if they're doing something that you don't like, make a sound that they don't hear all the time. Hey! Oh! And then they look at you like you've lost your mind. And then you can give them an instructive reprimand. Now, this is really important. Telling them what they're supposed to do. No, we say it all the time. They tune it out. Other thing I don't like about no is it doesn't tell them what they're supposed to do. It just says, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. After about 4 or 5 no's, they get frustrated. They don't know what they're supposed to do. Same thing with kids. So stop that and then chew toy. Off, leave it, sit, come. Tell them what they're supposed to do. Again, leads me to counter conditioning, which is rewarding what you want. Teaching a mutually exclusive behavior. The best way to get rid of a bad habit is to replace it with a good habit. Us too. If you're doing the right thing, you're not doing the wrong thing. And I really want you to keep that in mind with your dog, because we get so caught up in the trap of, well, how do I stop this? How do I stop that? And really the best way is to teach them what you want them to do. So if you find yourself going, the dog is making me crazy, stop, take a breath, and go, okay, what do I want them to do? Well, instead of jumping on me, I want them to sit. And reward sit. Teach that. Instead of chewing the couch, I want them to chew their chew toy. Then work on teaching that. Teach what you want. It's called counter conditioning. See all these psych terms? Which leads me to the last thing I want to talk about, which is lure reward training. Now, we can teach any behavior to our dog. Anything that we can lure them to do or anything that they do naturally, we can put on cue. I like to use the lures because It's easy. It gets a quick, fast response. And again, it's about that communication, what I want them to do. If you're pushing and prodding your dog, then that physical prompt is just something else, that we have to phase out. Bottom line, I'm lazy. I want to make it easy for me. I want to make it easy for you. I want to do what's easiest. So a lure, we take the lure and guide as the dog follows the lure into their body position that we want, and then we reward it and put a word to it. So they learn, oh, this is what this crazy woman wants, okay? A lure, right now I'm using food. A lure could be a tennis ball, a squeaky toy. I've used other dogs as lures. Whatever your dog wants is a lure, okay? So what I'm going to show you how to do right now is to teach your dog to sit. And I love sit because, again, counter conditioning, there's so many things that your dog cannot be doing if they're sitting. The best way to stop jumping is to work on a sit. So you puppy people, really, really work on this, especially if your dog is going to be a big doggy. We want to give them the same rules now that they're going to have a year from now. So it's not fair to let your adorable little 5-pound dog jump on you, but when they get to be 65 pounds, yell at them and punish them. They don't know. So to teach your dog to do a sit, I take the lure. Who's going to do this? Come here. Up. Come. Come on, Ace. Up. There we go. So I take the lure. He knows what I want. I don't know if you guys can see this. I take the lure over his head, and I guide it towards his tail. Come here, come here. So it's taking it over his head towards his tail. As he follows it, there we go. The booty hits the ground, you say good sit, and you give it to him. Good. I don't know if you guys can see that. Come here, up here. Good. There we go. Sit. Good. So it's that motion. Sit. Good. You see that? It's that motion over his head towards his tail. As he follows it, the booty hits the ground. Try this. Get down on all fours. Follow over your head. At some point, your butt's going to hit the ground. The butt hits the ground. Again, you say good. That's secondary reinforcer. And then they get the treat. So what do they learn? Oh, sit means put my butt on the ground. This is what these crazy people want. And make a game out of it. We're making it fun for them to do it. I don't want them to do it because they're doing it out of fear, they're being punished or coerced in any way. We want to make a game and make it fun. And that's how you get a long-lasting, consistent response out of your dog. I know. Thank you. It's got jerky breath. So again, that lure training over the head, towards the tail, the booty hits the ground, good sit, and then give them the treat. Okay? And you may have to do that maybe half a dozen repetitions, and then you can get rid of the treat. You just tell them good. Okay? Look at that face. I'm not so sure about the beard. There's a beard going. I don't know what we're going to do with this facial hair here. I got distracted by a poodle fuzzy face. So sit. Now, the big mistake people make with sit is they just show him the treat. The trick is to move it towards the tail. It's that motion going backwards over the head. That's what's going to make them sit. Okay? And again, as soon as they do it, good dog, let them know. That's what I want you to do. Thank you very much. And then, oh, by the way, here's a bonus. Here's the treat as a bonus. So sit. Your homework, you've got getting in the habit of praising your dog, teaching them their name, but not overusing it, and watching the other commands to make sure you're not overusing come or no as well. You've also got, what else did we talk about? You've also got that sit. Now that's your big homework. From now on, I want you to have them sit for all life rewards. Nothing is free anymore. No free lunch, people. Okay? Make them work for everything. Sit is their way of saying please and thank you. And while they're sitting, so much communication going on. There's so much learning going on. It's learning to follow your commands. It's a very passive leadership exercise. There's lots of stuff going on. Besides, I think sit is just their way of saying please and thank you. Because if it's like, please, can I say hello? Please, can I jump on the couch? Please, can I go outside? Whatever. If they're sitting, they're not jumping and in your face, which is always a good thing. Sorry, I didn't have enough coffee. I never have enough coffee. So nothing is free. Work on that sit. So you ideally want to be working with your dog 30 minutes a day. I do not want you to do more than maybe 5 minutes at a time. If you've got a little puppy, you're lucky to get 5 minutes attention out of a little puppy. So you want to take 5-10 minutes here and there, spread it out throughout the day. And that also trains you to be working with your dog. Because I know this training, it's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. And so I want you to get in the habit, and I want you to have fun with it. That's also your homework, is to have some fun. I've said it before, I'll say it a million times because it's the truth. Nobody gets a dog because they need more poop in their life. Okay? You get a dog to have fun with. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. Training should be fun. Yes, it's serious, and especially with some of the behavior issues, it can be very serious, but it's not brain surgery. Have fun with it, okay? And so your homework is to have fun, be consistent, okay? And I think this is really where your success hinges, is you will be getting good results, and then you'll slack off. That's our human nature, right? Oh, I've dropped a few pounds. I can have that donut. No. Mm-mm. So be consistent. That's why I think it's just as important for you to get in the habit to do this as it is for your dog. Because honestly, I've been doing this forever. I think when I started, dinosaurs were roaming the earth. And I'm only half joking. But I think what I've seen most often, the breakdown in the training, is the lack of consistency on our part. Dogs are amazing in spite of us, not because of us. So I really want you to get in the habit of doing this with your dogs. So there you have it. Those are the fundamentals of dog training. So practice your fundamentals. Please give me some feedback. Comment below. Let me know what you think of this platform. If this is a good way for us to continue the training. I don't know how long this isolation is going to go on, and I don't want to wait forever, especially with little puppies. They need the training now. So I'm thinking about continuing doing some different Facebook Lives, maybe with some private groups, depending on what class you're in. Also doing maybe some Zoom training, so we can do some conference calls. We can always Facebook Live. You can always, old-fashioned way, call me. But I like doing the video because it's a good way. I'm such a visual person. It's easier for me to show you than to explain it. And absolutely, please, if you're not already following my Facebook page, please follow my Facebook page. Instagram, I'm at Sid Scott. Apparently, there's a couple really famous jazz singers named Cindy Scott. So they took like everything. That's why I use Sid Scott. It's my nickname. There's no other Sid Scott. Except for my cousin. I do have a cousin named Sid Scott. But he spells it differently. Mine's with a C. So anyway, Sid Scott, follow me, Instagram, on this Facebook page. Because again, when I post different things, if I have different events, it's just a great way to stay in contact. Also, go to my website, myzendog.com. Subscribe for onto my email list. I'll send you a digital copy of one of my books for furthering the training, but also it's just a great way to keep in contact. I'm hoping to become more adept with some of this technology so that we can continue to do some private training as well via Zoom and do these group classes again, either doing Facebook Lives or Zoom, something like that. So anyway, it's a great way to stay in contact. Otherwise, thank you guys so much, and go play with your dog. Go be safe, take care of each other, take care of yourself, and wash your hands. Bye for now. Am I?